goes beyond looking at a thing. It is looking beyond a thing, looking into a thing, so that you have an unusual competence in the ability to discern what others miss. Webster says that a vision is a mental image produced by the imagination. Ah, it's deeper than that, Mr. Webster. He did the best he could. Vision has at its root, as we said on Xavier's Day, an idea. An idea is a well-developed thought. You know, in the comic books, whenever somebody had a brilliant thought or idea, they would put over the head a light, a bulb. That's it. Light got turned on in the guy's head. He saw something. He had an idea. But he really didn't have an idea. He had a thought. Because ideas are different from thoughts. Ideas, like thoughts, exist in the mind, potentially or actually as a product of mental activity. You can't have an idea or thought if your mind is not active. Brain waves on a machine that scans the activity of your mind, of your brain, shows an electrical energy in the brain that says this is alive. Electrical energy in the brain allows the brain to do what the brain is designed to do. Create thought, create image, create pictures. Listen, once you have a thought, that is a concept. When you say, sister has conceived, what do you mean? Sister has conceived. What do you mean? She's pregnant, right? Conception is not baby. The conception has all the necessary ingredients to make the baby. But now it needs a period of gestation and growth in the darkness of the womb so that conception becomes a fully developed child, baby, fetus. When thought germinates in the mind, if you don't continue to think on the thought, I want you to hear me. If you don't continue to think on the thought, then the thought without more thought only is a thought that comes and goes. And you will say when somebody else comes up with the thought but thinks on the thought, they stole my idea. They stole my stuff. They making the money and I ain't got none. Dirty, low-down thief. Wait a minute, fool. You don't have any corner on thought. You don't have have any specific corner on imagery? Many of you have good thoughts, but you do nothing about what you think. So the thought was an opportunity that you blew because you didn't do by the thought what you should have done. You got to think on the thought. You have to think on the thought. And thinking on the thought is feeding the thought. Then the thought develops into an idea. And that idea has with it a plan, a scheme, a method of fulfilling and concretizing what was a mental image that had potential, but now you want to actualize what you have envisioned. But if you even develop the idea or the thought into an idea and still will not work the idea, then God will give the idea to somebody else who will fulfill the idea and fulfill the vision brought by the idea. After the thought brings up a concept, you've conceived. Most people talk the thought, and the thought gets lost. It's like showing the baby before the baby is a baby. Who wants to see a clot but an abortionist? And most times we get a thought, we speak it before we think on the thought. Get it developed. And it must develop in darkness, like the womb of the female, the womb of the mind. Develop your ideas. Then develop the method, the plan of execution. The idea will bring up a picture of the completed thing. The picture is in your brain. You can draw it on a piece of paper so that you can keep the vision before your eyes. But putting it on paper isn't actualizing the vision. The vision is only actualized when you bring it into concrete reality.
Greetings, listeners. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. Welcome to the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. I am Brother David Muhammad, and I'm going to be in studio with you up to 9 o'clock this morning, inshallah. And in a short while from now, we will open up the telephone lines and take your calls on 342-0081 and 4665391. You can send text messages, WhatsApp messages, directly to me on 332-0214. And we are streaming live on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Street 919 FM. So, beloved, another week in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are just coming to the end of the second week of fasting for the holy month of Ramadan. So let me greet the entire Muslim community. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. And of course, this is a very unique time in history, as the holy month of Ramadan for the Muslims is coinciding with the period of Lent for the Christians, and also the Passover for the Jews. And this is a very unique occasion, and many are interpreting it as a sign that the world has come to a point where we must settle all differences, eliminate conflict, end wars, and take a second humanitarian look at how we have been conducting our affairs globally. And of course, all peace-loving people would want to see an outcome like that. But having said that, though, and I have always said and maintained the position that in a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multiracial, multi-religious society such as ours, that with all of the rhetoric about racial harmony and racial unity, every race must first be at peace with themselves. And then all of the different races can unite with each other. But if one race is constantly engaged in conflict with each other, self-hatred against one another, constantly living in a crabs in a barrel kind of mentality, always seeking to destroy each other and to destroy each other for the benefit of others, then the people in that condition need to fix themselves internally first. And when they have achieved unity among themselves, then look at the next step of uniting with others. But that priority is pushed aside completely in exchange for us uniting with others, period. So I hope that all of these signs can become so visible. So this was another great week, of course, at the Kwame Ture Center. The Nation of Islam has been hosting our iftars, which is the breaking of the fast. And once again, just like last week, this week, we have had so much good food. We've had so many guests come get something good to eat. Not just anything to eat, some really good food, very well prepared. And to those who made the effort, we are so deeply appreciative. So every evening, at around 6:21, we break the fast, we do our prayers, we come back together, dine with one another. Then we do the evening prayer or the night prayer, then we disperse. And the sense of love, the sense of camaraderie, the oneness, the unity, no negativity, no ill will or ill intent for one another. Just pure love, brotherhood, sisterhood, oneness. And really, this is a model of how we should continue to live, you know, whether we're fasting or not. So that spirit continues this week coming again. And again, it's such a beautiful experience. So, of course, we are over the Easter period. And, you know, around this time every year, I kind of go into some depth on some of the history of Jesus the Messiah. Because also, we are aware that the false image of Jesus has been used as a psychological onslaught against the minds of black people. And when so many of us have said over the years in regarding the ethnicity of Jesus the Messiah, many say, well, it doesn't matter whether he's black or white. I could understand someone saying that. I could understand, okay. But if it doesn't matter, then how can you overlook the lengths that the Europeans went to transform that image? Now, tomorrow morning, I'm lecturing at the Kwame Ture Center, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to show some images of the black Jesus, the black Madonna, the black Virgin Mary holding the baby, the Christ child. Numerous images that were in the European churches. Now, not churches in Africa, churches in France, in Switzerland, in Poland, in Italy, in Germany, in Greece. Christian churches, the early ones, the Orthodox ones, the original ones, with an image of a black Jesus and a black Virgin Mary. Now, if it is not important, please, if it is not important what color he was, I could go along with that with you. But just before we move on from that, I'm asking you a simple question. If it does not matter what color Jesus was, then why did they go through all of that trouble, all of that distortion of history, all of that fictitious promotion of European images, the whitening of the skin of Jesus, the refusal to recognize him as an African man, a black man from Northeast Africa, which is where he was born? Why go through all of that trouble? Imagine, let's think of some white character in history. Let's say Hitler or Napoleon or Donald Trump, I don't know, someone. And then you see a number of books being written claiming that, say, Donald Trump, let's say in the future from now, number of books written claiming that Donald Trump was really black. Articles, journals, new drawings, paintings, images, fabricated video, recorded footage, all on this whole mission to try to change the race or the ethnicity of someone in literature, in anthropology, in history. And then when you confront, but why are you doing this? Why are you trying to change the color of Donald Trump and make the people believe that he was really black when he was white? Now, if the only response that you get to an inquiry like that is, Well, it doesn't matter whether he was black or white. Then you know that there was some kind of underneath, behind closed doors, mischievous, sinister motive and plot behind why they changed his color. And only if we're being trained to not be thinking people would we so willingly just accept anything that they throw at us. And that is the whole underlying theme behind much of the black history that has been hidden from us. In my book, Black Studies, it goes into extensive depth on the truth of the history of Jesus the Messiah as it pertains to his true ethnicity, the truth about Jesus the Messiah. And I just want to share one little part here with you. That we got from an article in the Final Call newspaper entitled, "Was Jesus Black?" dated May 16th, 2012. It said of the lineage of Jesus, Matthew chapter 1 verse 6 states, "And Jesse begat David the king, and David the king begat Solomon. Of her that had been the wife of Uriah, and generations later, Jesus is born." Now, here you see Jesse's lineage goes to David, David's lineage goes to Solomon, Solomon's lineage goes to Jesus. Jesus was born through the house of David, through King Solomon, who is one of the most plainly declaring individuals in the Bible, who openly noted his skin color. He said, "I am black. I am black," it says in the Bible. And then, in the only physical description that we have of Jesus in the Bible, in both the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel, it describes him as having hair like lamb's wool and feet like burnished brass, as if they had been burnt in an oven. Burnished brass, or brass itself, looks like a shade of brown. But burnished, and all of this has been right before our eyes for centuries. According to the great J.A. Rogers in Amazing Facts About the Negro, 1957 published, in speaking of Christ having been black and his travels throughout Europe. This is the thing, when these anthropologists and historians are looking for evidence on the race or ethnicity or skin color of Jesus, they don't go to Africa. They go to where many of the first Christian churches were established, in Europe. Even that cathedral of Notre Dame in France that burnt down a few years ago. Can't remember exactly when, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And they had fundraisers right here in Trinidad to help rebuild the Cathedral of Notre Dame in France. The Cathedral of Notre Dame in France had a black Virgin Mary with a black baby Jesus. J.A. Rogers says, it was surprising to me how many white Spaniards in the Barcelona area of Spain insist that Jesus Christ was black. Professor J.A. Rogers went to an area called Montserrat, a monastery just outside of Barcelona, where that famous football team comes from. And right there in Montserrat, outside of Barcelona, the Black Madonna and the baby Christ child are there. African images in a place where hardly any Africans live. J.A. Rogers, in his travels, witnessed a number of these black images of the Madonna, Mary, and infant Jesus in his European travels. And he discovered that some of these images in the earliest European churches maintained their full African physical features. He said, evidently, early Christians must have thought that Jesus Christ was a member of the Ethiopian race, or they would not have so stressed the dark hue of the skin of the Savior and his mother in their pictures and statues. Joseph Maccabee stated, there's a strong reason to think that man was at first of a very dark skin, woolly haired, and flat-nosed. Then he goes on to point out that the most celebrated shrine in Germany, where Hitler was the ruler of, the most celebrated Christian shrine in Germany is that of the Black Virgin in Alt-Otting, Bavaria. Look this up for you. So why are you taking my word for Alt-Otting, Alt-Oetting in Bavaria. In southern Germany and in what was once Austria are also different shrines of black Madonnas, African Mary, mother of Jesus, and baby Jesus. He says, on the most important bridge over the Spree at the south end of the Unter den Linden, near the Berlin Cathedral in Berlin, Germany, in the very center of the north side of the bridge, is an 8 feet tall monument of an African. This is Europe. Dr. Khalid Muhammad in the great debate, was Jesus an African, told of Josephus. Josephus is one of the most respected ancient historians. Again, look him up for yourself. Josephus was not a religious man. And Josephus, 4th century Jewish historian, he was not a follower of Jesus. He was not a believer. He was not a person of the faith. He was a historian. And Josephus saw Jesus face to face. He observed him. He wrote about him. Josephus was like a journalist following up on Jesus' activities. And Josephus wrote a physical description of the man that he saw, named Jesus, the Messiah. And in his journal entries, Josephus wrote of Jesus as a small man of simple appearance, with black skin. He said he was a small man. He said he had little hands and black skin, not dark brown, black skin. Robert Heisler, in writing on the research history of the Messiah Christ, wrote that nothing of the image of Jesus today remains authentic. P. Joves, again, wrote of the early black images of Jesus being offensive to some of the earlier European Christians. And many of the original black images that were sculptured by St. Luke, who knew Jesus personally, bore testimony to Jesus and his mother Mary being Africans. But then Pope Julius commissioned the artist Michelangelo to reproduce these images of Jesus. And then rewrite the history. John G. Jackson, in Was Jesus Christ a Negro? A Rationalistic Review, published in 1933, wrote, in pictures and portraits of Christ by the early Christians, he is uniformly represented as being black. And Jackson says, to make this more certain, a red tinge is given to the lips, and the only text in the Christian Bible quoted by Orthodox Christians as describing his complexion represents it as being black. And one of the most, you see, these references that I'm giving you here, they're not religious. They're not centered in black history or African consciousness. This is the European admittance and acceptance originally of Jesus being African. And among some of the most legitimate of them all is the great British Orientalist, Sir Godfrey Higgins. You research the volume of work done by Sir Godfrey Higgins. And one of his main publications was entitled The Anacalypsis, or An Inquiry into the Origin of Languages, Nations, and Religions. Higgins did thousands of pages worth of research. Knighted for his contributions to history, geography, anthropology, and world cultures. And Sir Godfrey Higgins explains that in France, Italy, and Germany, he says, quote, the God Christ, as well as his mother, are described in their oldest pictures to be black. The infant God in the arms of his black mother, with his eyes and drapery white, is himself perfectly black. Sir Godfrey Higgins, British Orientalist, one of the most respected anthropological scholars to come out of the United Kingdom, described Jesus' skin color as, quote, perfectly black. And then he gives the list of the major European religious sites that have black images of Jesus and Mary. He refers to the cathedral at Mullins, the famous chapel of the Virgin at Loreto, the church of the Annunciata, the church at St. Lazaro, the church of St. Stephen at Genoa, St. Francisco at Pisa, where they named San Francisco after, the church at Brixen in Tyrol, the church of St. Theodore at Munich, Germany, the cathedral at Augsburg. Each of these major historical sites, major religious spaces under preservation, each of them in Europe, in some of the most white areas. This isn't like London, England, or Paris, France, or in Holland, Amsterdam, and these cities that have an enormous black population. In places where majority, in some cases 80, 90% white. Each of these historical sites had a black Jesus and a black Virgin Mary. He goes on, also one can consider Rome and the Borghese Chapel of Maria Maggiore. He speaks of the Pantheon, the chapel of St. Peter's, on the right-hand side on entering near the door, and in fact to almost innumerable other churches, there is the black image. He says, there is scarcely an old church in Italy where some remains of the worship of the black virgin and black child are not to be met with. Sir Higgins says, very often the black figures have given way to white ones. And in these cases, the black ones, as being held sacred, were put into retired places in the church, but were not destroyed and are yet to be found there. When the circumstance has been named to the Romish priests, they have endeavored to disguise the fact by pretending that the child had become black by the smoke of candles. But it was black where the smoke of a candle never came, and besides, how came the candles not to blacken the white of the eyes, the teeth, and the shirt, and to redden the lips? Their real blackness is not to be questioned. He says, a black virgin and child existed among the white Germans, Swiss, French, and Italians. The Anacalypsis, Volume 1, Book 4, Chapter 1. Now, I am reading for you straight out of Black Studies from these references. But I ask you, if all of that history is there, if all of that information, all of that anthropology, if it is all there, then why is the best response to this date to this question of the ethnicity of Jesus, why is it then that the best argument that can be put up against this is it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter what color he was. Well, of course it matters to those who change the color. Because if Jesus were white, I can assure you black people would have never changed his color. But he was not. And there's all kinds of other records on Greece and the Christian Orthodox churches of Greece and so much more. And I believe that we are at a period in that, because I could tell you when I was in school, the thought of Jesus being a black man was a revolutionary idea. In the 1980s, me as a child in school, I mean, you were hearing it here and there. Oh, Jesus was black. And there were one or two of the Easter shows on television with black people in it depicting the life of Jesus. So for a child in the 1970s or the 1980s, that would have been considered to be a revolutionary idea that Jesus was an African, but not the children of today. Yes, I know. The white image is still very popular. And it's an emblem of colonialism that with all the historical facts. You see, that's the other thing too. No one is arguing with this today. Do you remember the white Catholic Archbishop Edward Gilbert of Boston? We're in 2022 now. 21 years ago. 21 years ago. When I just started doing talk programs on Ebony 104 FM radio station. It was before they were even Ebony 104. It was just called 104 FM. Talk that makes sense. Something that's missing today, trust me. Oh, how the industry has changed. But anyway, back on 21 years ago on Ebony 104, I had as a guest on my program the white Catholic Archbishop Edward Gilbert. And I asked him, and that was the first. He said in the interview that this is the first interview that he's doing in Trinidad. The first one. Check the history. This is 2001 on 104 FM. And I asked him, face to face, man to man, do you accept that Jesus the Messiah was a black African man? He didn't beat around the bush. He didn't say, well, you know, back in those days, or, well, you know, we don't have any actual photographs of him, or, you know, we still have to uncover the, or it doesn't, you think he said, oh, it doesn't matter what color he was? Hell no. Hell no. Was one of the black priests, they might have said that, oh, it doesn't matter. This white archbishop, in being asked face to face, man to man, do you accept that Jesus the Messiah was a black African? he said, "Yes, I do." And then the conversation, of course, proceeded into, well, if this is the case, especially in a region like the Caribbean, why do we still have so many white images of a historical figure of whom it is understood was African? There's no question about it. And then, they went into the history of the establishment of the different churches and the different regions and the different populations and the communities there. And okay, we understand that part of it. But yes, it does matter, because the truth matters. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away, and I'll come back with your calls.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
And you make a song. Take my short and you make it long. Keep my feet firmly on the ground. When I'm weak, yeah, you make me strong. So for you know I sing this song. Everybody hands up and sing it with me. We are something special, hey. Very special, hey. Something special, hey. Hey, hey. We are something special, hey. Very special, hey. Something special, hey. Hey. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. Hey, very special, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. Where we going, where we going, where we going? We up and down, we all around. We going country, we going down. We going east, we going west. You know we friendship, it is the best. We up and down, we all around. We going country, we going down. We going down to the ground, 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 to the ground. We are something special, hey. Very special, hey. Something special, hey. Hey, hey. We are something special, hey. Very special, hey. Something special, hey. Hey. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. Hey, hey. Very special, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. See when I tell you, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. When I tell you, I tell you, I say what I tell you when I tell you, I mean it. I tell you when I tell you, what I tell you when I tell you, I mean it. I telling you what I tell you when I tell you, when I tell you what I tell you. I tell you when I mean it.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Glorious Saturday. We are expanding the lines. Liming with the live wire on Glorious Saturday on the Street 919 FM. It's going to be a Caribbean retro dance party. Yeah! A sweet retro reggae flavor thrown in with the sweet Trini retro vibe comes to you on the street 919 FM this Saturday, Glorious Saturday, from 4 to 7 p.m. Dust off your dancing shoes. You don't want to miss this.
Get ready! Pretty British, Brother J, and Ali Berry presents Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. Drink your water and mind my business.
I go drink water and mind my business.
Saturday, April 16th at the Onyx venue, 27A Queensway, Bletchley, Milton Keynes, featuring the big band in the business, Iwer George.
Yes, and this is me, Iwer George, the big boss in the business. April 16th, Soca Madness Part 1. Yes, I'm going to be in London. I'm coming to shell it.
Fabulous.
You know what I'm saying, yo, London, April 16th, it's all about the Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. I will be there.
Will be your friend blinking bad, and the friend them stinking mad.
Music by DTTP, Rigo Suave, the Stage Guard, Selector G, Survival Number 1, and DJ Wince. Tickets available on Eventbrite UK. Early bird tickets, £25 from March 6th. For more info, call Allison at 447588376951. Trini British 447404-050703. And Brother J 447508862718. Saturday, April 16th. Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. London, it's your turn.
Roger Garraway and his community of creators present The Royal Exhibit, a 3-day art exhibition, Wednesday, April 27th to Friday, April 29th, Queens Park, Savannah. Daily start time, 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Under the auspices of the MP for St. Anne's East, Dr. Nyan Gaspidal. The greatest and finest pieces ever witnessed by local artists in Trinidad and Tobago will be on display for purchase. Come to this wonderful event and walk away owning a masterpiece that can be displayed in your home or passed down for generations to come. Roger Garraway has now made his mark on the international market, breaking barriers and setting the standard high. He and his group of friends will wow you with their out-of-this-world pieces. This event cannot be missed. You can also enjoy the opportunity to browse and purchase fantastic one-of-a-kind handmade art and craft pieces created by local designers from the community. Special guest appearances by Patrice Roberts, Michael Edwards and friends, Iwer George, Roxanne Lane, Crazy, and Joey Rivers and his band. Food and drinks on sale. Secured parking for all vehicles and all COVID-19 protocols will be observed. Special thank you to the Member of Parliament for St. Anne's East, Dr. Nyan Gaspidal.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Heal Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monterey Post, San Fernando. For more info, contact Dr. Desmond Phillip at NHM on 349-3494.
NHM Professional Associates can be heard live on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 9:05 to 9:55 a.m.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
From the studio to the stage, every Friday between 3 to 4 p.m. right here on the Street 919 FM. Radio you can see. Log on to our Facebook and YouTube so you can see live interviews and performances from some of our very own local superstars. Right here on the Street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iwer George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory.
Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
So there's a need for brotherhood.
Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen. Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
Brotherhood is demanded.
Black man, get up. Black man, stand up. Black man, you better listen.
Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to
Welcome back and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. We're going up to 9 o'clock. And I'm continuing to take your calls on 342-0081 and 4665391. Caller, good morning. Oh, yes. Okay, well, all right, hold on a second because this phone isn't plugged in. All right, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning, Doctor.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Pleasant Saturday morning to you, Doctor and philosopher. Let me say Eid Mubarak to you and the entire Muslim community,
Ramadan,
and to the Christian community. Let me say holy and blessed and happy resurrection. Brother and Doctor, as you speak in the mic in terms of the Christ child and the portrayal and the image, when you mention about the past as Bishop Gilbert, you took me back. I get a sense of deja vu. I know those were the days we were following you. We were eager to get information. But let me hasten to say this. You know the village of Tortuga?
Yes.
That is bordering with La Vega, Grand over there.
Right.
Well, what you have the Tortuga Parish, which that, you know, they name it parish, which is the head for different archdiocese. And you know, in the Catholic Church in Tortuga, I want to believe it's the only Black Madonna with child statue in that church there. Yes, but I tell you, now, you know, the Divitai and they used to be owning these estate, Cocoa Estate, and so on.
Yeah.
And Tortuga Church, the parish on the hill there, that was the mother church. Now, if you look properly, strategically, where they would have placed that church. Now, when you had these estates, where the Bibitai and they in the early had a lot of slave working, and there and then strategically where they would have placed the Black Madonna in that church, I advise anybody want to go up there. I think they have it as one of the tourism sites now, on the hill there. So I know for a fact the Black Madonna is sitting in that church. It's in the Tortuga parish. It's on the hill. So right away, you brought a lot of history. So for those who don't know, in Tortuga, in the parish of Tortuga, the Catholic Church on the hill there, you have the Black Madonna and Child. And I say this to you, brother. The controversy is not with the Christ Child, but the controversy is with the European and those who bring that portrayal of Michelangelo. The Christ came, the Christ is real. That Christ Child came, regardless to what, and I'd say this to you, dear doctor. Now, the Catholic and they have the real history. That is why you see the Pope do all the veneration and he do all the prostrating before Our Lady, because they is aware, they have the books. Now, one of the things people got to understand, inside that Vatican City, you know, there is certain buildings and certain rooms they were never exposed to the public. Because when they stole all the artifacts and all information, they got them back. So African people realize you are spiritual people, and that is why I say, talk to your children, tell them the truth. Spirituality started from Kemet, Africa. I bid you all peace and farewell, holy and blessed, and happy resurrection. Eid Mubarak, brother.
Thank you so much. And the sad thing about this, and I'm certain it would change, well, it will change eventually, inshallah, and that is that when we point out or highlight or identify a church with the Black Jesus, take for example I think it's the Holy Angels Church in Chicago that is led by Father Michael Flager, white man, and of course the very large image of Jesus is black. That's a Catholic church in Chicago. Now, thing is, when we find churches like that, they are the exception. But we hope that at some point, maybe in our lifetime or in the lifetimes of the next generation, or at least one or so after that, that just as rare as it is, just as scarce as it is, just as unusual as it is for us to say, hey, there's a church in Tortuga or in Chicago or in this place or that place that has a black Jesus, eventually it will be just as scarce to say, hey, there's a church in this area over so-and-so. If you go 4 miles west of this town, there's a church with a white Jesus. And people say, no way. Say, yes, it's true. There's a church with a white Jesus. Still? You mean now in the year 2055? Yes. Still a church with a white Jesus in it. I have to see that for myself. So just as scarce as it is for there to be the black Jesus in a church now, eventually it will be just as scarce to see a church with a white Jesus. As the truth continues to spread. All right, caller, good morning.
Morning, brother.
Good morning.
And to all the listeners. I want to be long. As of particular interest to me, well, and of particular interest to me, is the challenging of the status quo of the world belief systems. It doesn't only stop at Jesus being the correct complexion, Brother David. So could you imagine with this deception in what Christians embrace as the word of God? Could you imagine how much alterations there are to line up with the lie, if you understand what I'm saying, within the doctrine? Now, we as humans, we very much afraid to challenge the status quo of most of the belief systems and the religions of the world, but it must be done. I realize that a lot of people are doing it piece by piece, challenging what we were told not to question.
Yep.
You understand? No, not to question, but you see, the thing is, it takes a certain amount of strength to break that what was sided into us, what was beaten into us. It takes a lot of psychological strength to go against a lot of the world's belief systems. I consider myself a nonconformist, and I challenge in everything. I have no faith in none of the cultures and none of the world belief systems because they carry you in the wrong way. The message of that original Black Messiah, I think, originated from in Egypt, and the story was altered and changed plenty times. And I mentioned on a program that Rome, together with all the psychological show-off, they literally, when they invaded Egypt and get through, they advanced time by 3 centuries so that it could be in line with their agenda. You understand? In history, ever came across that they wanted to alter, that they did. They successfully did. So right now we could be in about
the
17 something.
Nicene Conference,
Yeah, we could be in about 17 something, 1722 or something rather than 2021. If you understand. But if you try to have that conversation with people, they will experience cognitive dissonance. So remember, they cram creation and everything within a few thousand years, which is ridiculous, you know, by the fact that they're finding skulls that is often at 3 million years old and artifacts real old and stuff like that. So, you know, I rock back and I watch and I admire when one of the world's belief systems is challenged, especially where religion is concerned. Or, you know, faith, you know, Brother David, you know, it has people are afraid to ask questions because of the response I would get from the people who believe in what they believe in. If you understand what I'm saying. But good program, I love to listen. I just wanted to give that.
Thank you. Caller, good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, Mr. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Good morning to you, Brother Mohammed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there?
Yes.
Yes, my brother, I'm paying you. I want to say this, Brother Mohammed. To be honest, my opinion about people describing Jesus as black or white, to be honest, in my opinion and what I believe, and no man or woman could change it from what I'm going to say here now. No pope, no religion, no Hindu, no imam could change it. But I believe that my God is our all-color God. Because when I see human being, I see God in human being. Means he color, means he black, means he Indian, and means he white.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Yes. So I do not go down that road to agree with anybody.
Doesn't matter, right?
With white or black, because I see human being in God. I'm a white human being, I see God. But I understand your issue. But,
it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, no, it don't matter to me.
Right.
And but my mom, what I am calling for is to ask you, because I didn't hear you speak about it. I didn't know if you speak about it or not, about the incident that took place with Will Smith and Chris Rock. I didn't hear you mention it at all, or I'm gonna miss it. You have any point of view of that?
I've been involved in several discussions on it.
Oh. Okay then. Okay. Well, I never hear do an editorial in it, and I never hear say anything about it now. So, you know what I mean? You know, usually be local African teacher. You know what I mean? So, because many Africans, American African make two statement about it, and I didn't hear you make no public statement about it on social media or on radio. And the next thing, Brother Mohammed, do you know that right now the Middle East, the Muslim, the Sheikhs and them, we are the oil and Dubai down on that side, down there. They make a video, Brother Mohammed, mock, and it's playing on the state-owned station, like them rich Muslim and them with the clothes over their face, and there's some big tiger and thing in their house and thing, and the multi-millionaires. And they make fun of Joe Biden. They make fun of him. Can't remember the president name of Russia. He can't remember the vice president name of thing. So the world is watching Joe Biden as a weak leader, and I do not know, Brother Mohammed, if you see this clip when one of the best presidents of America went back into the White House, how Joe Biden was treated, that none of his staff, nobody pay attention to Joe Biden, but there was all
I saw that.
Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
That was shameful, Brother Mohammed, as a world head leader.
Well,
to see you in your own house and just spinning around, and like, because what we believe, because you know I'm a Trump supporter. You know I don't hide that. I'm a Republican. What we believe that Obama is running America. That is what we agenda. That's what we push. We believe that because Obama have a clip inside that he wished that he could be out as president and just sit down somewhere and giving instructions. But what we are seeing today, that is Obama have a hand in the presidency right now, and we believe that he is running America. And when the world said, because the president trying to get to Obama, touching Obama on the shoulder, and Obama in acknowledging the man in his own house. So, beloved, as I said, the conversation was good. I hear the history. I do not discuss the color or skin of human being, because, and I do not like religion either. I do not discuss religion with nobody, because to me, as you know, I have a different mind. I believe that there is no religion in God's temple, in God's house. There is no religion. I believe that always one as human being. All of us is serve under the one God. We might call him different name, but you have to understand that don't care what human being you are. If that is them God, where you on the right.
Okay, so just one last question with that. So you say you don't think it matters what color Jesus was, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, my brother. Yes,
right.
My brother.
So, based on that, are you not then bothered and disturbed and concerned over the fact that there are those who went through so much trouble to change his color?
Of course. And I'm most concerned that those who try to push the white agenda, I mean to say that Jesus, because there's more people pushing that white agenda than African people saying that, because I know African people.
See, this is the thing. There aren't much people. No one really anymore is pushing the argument that Jesus was white. It's just that the images remain, and that's what we see.
It remain.
But no one could debate that or argue that or come up with some kind of academic position.
But I don't believe Jesus. To me, but I don't believe Jesus is white. When I was small, I never take him serious. When I get big, I understand that Jesus. I mean, believe Jesus is white, and he's a white man. You know what I mean? If he's a mix, he's African and double and Indian in him, I might say, yeah. But to say he's a white man, of course not, he's a white man. Because African are the strongest human being in the world. And it's but I want to thank you as always for giving me the opportunity.
Yes,
so I hope one day I will speak about the Chris Brown and the thing issue as an African man, because I had many African historians speak about it, and I hear you speak about it. Since the last 2 Saturdays I was to call you, but they just sent me to when I call you to ask about it. But I thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And basically, I am mindful and cautious about using events like that, the Will Smith, Chris Rock issue, to further sensationalize already existing stereotypes about black men. There have been many who would have taken up the opportunity to try to disparage all of us by an issue of conflict between two of us. Those are two accomplished black men, two black men who have achieved. Both of them, especially Will Smith, have supported the organization that I'm a part of, the Nation of Islam. As a matter of fact, Will Smith and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith are very strong supporters of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And Chris Rock, on numerous occasions, has spoken up in support of, an acknowledgement of, Minister Farrakhan. So they're two brothers, as far as I'm concerned. And there are multiple factors behind the issue. To me, it was unfortunate. It should not have happened. And even when it did happen, or when the incident began to unfold, it should have and could have been managed and handled better. I appreciate the intervention of those who saw both of them as brothers and helped to facilitate some kind of stability between them both, but it should not have happened. And there are so many of the what ifs. You know, what if Mike Tyson was the host of the awards? Or as someone said, I thought it was very humorous, what if Chris's elder cousin, was the host of the awards, meaning The Rock, instead of Chris Rock? You know, it wouldn't have played out like that. But one thing I'll take away from it, though, is, and there's something I'm holding back from saying, trust me, there's something I'm holding back really strongly from saying. But it is good, though. Again, I don't like what happened, and that should not have unfolded. But the good out of it was to see a black man defending his wife like that. We have established a culture of denigrating our women. In fact, a major aspect of our music and entertainment industry entails us objectifying our women. Not enough black men fighting for women. Not fighting for us, not like that. Defending, standing up for. Something I'm holding back from saying, you know. But we encourage our men to be defenders of the sisters. We encourage that, but that shouldn't have unfolded the way that it did. Maybe I'll say more on another basis. All right. 3420081466539. Call, are you there?
Yeah, morning.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to direct the listeners of this program, right, to where to go and get evidence of what you're talking about. Tell them to go to the Tortuga Catholic Church, where they will see the Black Madonna and his child and the child. Go to Superior on a Good Friday, and you will see how much thousands of Hindu devotees praying to the Black Madonna. And other devotees, thousands of people visit Superior on a Good Friday. Thousands of people to pray to the Black Madonna. Right in Trinidad here, we have it. The teaching, go to the Tortuga Catholic Church, anybody at all. Go Superior go Superior Church. What the feel is the Lavina Pastora?
Yeah, La Divina Pastora, yeah.
Right? Black Madonna, the first man, Immaculate Birth, Immaculate Birth. Right? Go down there on a Good Friday. Every Hindu devotee know what you're talking about, you know. Every Hindu devotee in Trinidad and Tobago knows that. Trust me. Go. You must take it on Good Friday. You must go down there and see how much thousands people buy busload, carrying money, jewels, praying. You must go and see. Spend the day down there and see how much busload of people that weekend. Good Friday, how much busload you must see. Right? So people must know think, but tell them take a trip to the Tortuga Catholic Church. And they could go up on it and pull the pity and see.
Yeah. Well, you know, an earlier caller did mention that. Yeah, did you hear him?
Huh?
Did you hear the earlier caller who spoke about the Tortuga Church?
No, I was trying to get on, so
okay.
I just using the phone now.
Yeah, well, our brother did speak about it earlier.
Yeah. You must go to take a trip to the Tortuga Catholic Church and see. But the thing is the Superior Catholic Church on a Good Friday. Just stay down there and see what a thousand, the maxi. Thousands of people that visit there on a Good Friday. Thousands. They pray to the Black Madonna. They say she just give powers and all kind of thing. But all the Hindu devotees believe what you say. Every Hindu devotee in Trinidad and Tobago. Trust me. All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the truth bears testimony to itself. Good morning, caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, my brother.
Hakim Mohammed.
Yes,
anyway, Brother Mohammed, you must see the Pope. They say they are 6 to 8 miles.
Not hearing you very clearly.
You hear me now?
A bit better. Go on.
Yes. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, they say there are 6 to 8 miles of African artifacts and culture in the Vatican. The Pope, before he go upstairs to give a ceremony, he bows down to the Black Madonna and child dongs. I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
This is one of the images that we have of the Pope of Rome in his chambers, making his prayer before the Black Madonna.
Yes, but David, I want to say something. This is not what I am saying. This is not my opinion. I have heard, when I listen to the news, I have heard on the BBC, just like they said, which I spoke about it here the other day, just like they had the laws where I've heard they said, 15 states in America, you understand, removed that law that prevented African people from wearing their hair at their own style. And also, Britain is going to do the same thing. So I listen to the news, I hear it. As I was speaking to our brother, he said, when they went digging with the far south, down in Cambodia and China and all about, and they see the hairstyle, they realized, you understand, that we would connect, you understand? So they put laws to prevent that. But then I also heard almost 3 months now on the BBC News, where it said that they are going to return to Ethiopia the only handwritten Bible and the Ark of the Covenant. They said it, not me, but they returned the Bible so far, but the Ark they haven't returned it yet. They said they never bring that to people to see. I have heard that on BBC. I didn't say that. Anyway, the point I want to make, Brother David, is this. You see me? I have no fear for the the Chinese, the Caucasian, the Indians. I have no fear for these people because I know them, I understand them. I go into their mind and see what they think and how they operate, where we are concerned. The biggest fear I have is my own people. My own people, I fear them because you know why? They are always used by these people to get to us. When they can't get to you, they use your own people to get to you. So that is my greatest fear. And you would know that because organizations, you understand, that they infiltrate. It was infiltrated to black people, you understand? So when I see black men moving, you understand, the UNC can't get to me. I'm not talking politics this morning. Cameron and Pani can't get, they can never get to me because I know where they're coming from. But I know they can use my people to get where what they want, and they have done it. And that is the hurting thing. So the fear for me is always my people, because we don't seem to understand what is really going on. We don't understand where these people are coming from. We don't understand that you understand, are our biggest enemy. You see how we destroy one another? Now, for instance, the issue that you just talk about there with Chris and Wilbur, I never spoke about that, and I was hoping that there was a program that went on earlier, not earlier, sometime after that, I was hoping that they never raised that, because the amount of negative, you know, get out of an issue like that. You understand? Leave it alone. There are things that they leave alone. You don't carry it on. You understand? So this is our people have to understand certain things about it, and we have to fear our people, because when the day comes, as the morning wake, before the cock don't crow, and the dog bark in the night, we are on the radio destroying ourselves, and it's a sad thing. Brother David, you have a good day. Good day for your family.
Thank you, brother. Good morning.
Ramadan Mubarak, my brother.
Ramadan Kareem.
Brother David Mohammed, as you say, what is the difference here? This is body color. Brother David Mohammed, we know that all messengers that were sent to different communities was of colors. Everyone, even the last one who was sent to the Arabian Peninsula was of color, because his great-great-great-great-grandmother was a gift given to Abraham from the king of Egypt. Right? We all know that. And they always try to change history. They always try to do that. And if we, as African people, as I say, if you want to hide anything from what's in writing, a lot of us don't like to read. We like to go to assumption and somebody telling something. You understand? But we know that Messiah, and the opponents, was of scholars. Where he come from, wrote everything.
Exactly.
And another thing, I hear my brother saying, Obama running America. no president in America run America. Some hidden government. It has Morgan Chase and the Rockefellers and the Rothschild and everything. Then fellas, the people running. They just put they want there. And beloved Obama still the most of our people in the Middle East that are Jews descended. Beloved Obama is doing invade with NATO and to enter in Libya to get rid of a black leader. Beloved Obama who said, well, yes, 2 men can marry one another. Who we said black is against that same kind of thing. They won't go down deep into that. But they're saying, yes, beloved Obama, he sent Jews upon Jews in the Middle East. All the loving, he was following instructions when the warmongers and then making billions of dollars and printing US dollars. So I have to remember, Biden was his vice president. So a lot of staff members that have in the White House work under Obama. So they wanted to show that love to him. People realize that, you know. They're just watching how people gravitate when he went back in the White House. A lot of Biden members, staff members, who work under Obama. People forgetting that. But just remember, he wasn't the best president. He might be the best president for you all, but for me, because I know what he did and the instruction he did. Right, so, but David, I'll have to plan one of these days, inshallah. The vacation coming from weekend here, so with some followers start down on your side, inshallah.
Oh, lovely. That would be great.
Yes, man. All right, inshallah.
Yeah, all right. Walaikum salam. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Brother David.
How are you?
Mr. Pinal here. With reference to the La Divina Pastora, the Paria set. So Pari Mai, as my grandmother used to say, Mai means mother. And I don't know if Paria and Sopari are somehow connected. But Sopari Mai, she used to refer to the divinity there. The icon, the idol. But that's my grandmother's generation. And then my parents' generation kind of ignored that. And my sisters and my sisters-in-law and my wife and my mother-in-law, I don't hear them talking about that at all. So it has diminished in importance for the Hindu community. But I'm sure there are people who are still going because, people have desperation in their lives and they believe if they go and they offer here and there and so on, they're fishing around. But the major significance that some Hindus would have attached to it at one time has diminished. For us, it has reverted to what I knew it as a child, Tiparia Fet, really. Just a big street festival with buying and selling and music and what have you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Caller, good morning.
A blessed morning to you, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Ukraine-Russia war is just a distraction for what went on with America in Afghanistan and Iraq for the last 20 years. That's what I've seen it. The papers are showing. And all presidents take a oath to make sure that America is the beast. They're protecting that. They have no strategy or plan for peace on the earth. Their mission is to create all wars and havoc so that they would seem to be the one looking to liberate people. But they are the warmongers of the world, Dr. David. They are the warmongers of the world, and it's a distraction. Now, I hope that the African Union will get together and start to feed Africa, because the papers are showing you the wheat coming from Ukraine and Soviet Union, Egypt in trouble, Lebanon in trouble, some African nations, all of them in trouble. They wouldn't be, just now they mightn't even have wheat to give to their nation to satisfy the population, if you was. And that is the problem they want to bring onto the world, Create a scene where it's hunger and food shortage and food scarcity, so that the domination still will be looking for people like the World Food Program and all these things to give us food to eat. African Union will have to step up all the game right now. The African Union leaders, why you say misleaders? Because so all these years they in power. Some of them for life. And look at the state of the economies in all these places. It's only corruption. The papers are showing you. But Brother David, we are in trouble by our own means. And we can solve it by our own means also. Thank you very much, Brother David.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. I'm just receiving word from my family that my great-great-great-grandmother was baptized in that church of the Black Madonna. All right. So you'll have to call 342-0081 or 466-5391. Okay? So I'm seeing some calls coming through on a line that I don't have access to answering through the switchboard. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am good, give thanks.
Great.
Yes, I am. I'm so glad I got through.
Yeah, so am I.
It was every Saturday, but anyways, I understand. How are you doing? How is everybody?
Excellent. It would be really lovely for you to pass by one evening when we're having the breaking of the fast. It's some really lovely occasions.
I would try. As you say that, I would try. But my brother there who spoke a little while back, I really am trying to get on to you. So if you try through the brother David Muhammad, I'd appreciate it very much. Now, I always looking on the thing where people call to derail the program, that bothers me. But added to which, the further back you go, the more of the authenticity of things are. The truth is further back you go. Modern days being tainted with all sorts of hate and venom and stuff. genders and Satmarajian and that kind of a thing. But the further back you go, there is where you get the real truth, you know. But the first wave of Rastafarians was when the truth about the color of Jesus came about, because the first wave of Rastafarian was people who were really conscious, you know. You got a lot of information back then. It didn't have anything like style and how long your ass is and how cute your ass looking. It was really, really about consciousness, and that is where it came from. And that's when we first started hearing that Jesus was black. But all before, every effort was made to keep him white. I would never forget my sister. She passed on a little while back, and she told me she dreamt. She got up one and said, "Gil, I dreamed Jesus." I said, "You dream?" She said, "Yes." She said, "I didn't see how small he was. He was a small man." And I said to myself, "Yeah, right," kind of thing, you know. But when I heard you spoke of it, and this is not the first time you spoke of his size, his stature, I said, "My God, well, it is true. My sister really dreamed it." She got up telling me that, and she said he was a small man, you know. But it is so sad. The brother there said that who is running America? Obama wasn't running America when he was president, much less now. So I don't know,
Very
you know.
good point. Very good point.
Yes, he wasn't even running America back then, much less now. So when you see utterances from people, you can see how they can easily be chained up and so on. Brother Muhammad, I would really try to get come down, and in any case, I say I want to pass there, but I would really try to come down.
Well, let me know. Let me know if you are coming down. Let me know which day.
I would.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
All
My
right.
brother out there, please try to get on to me, okay, through Brother Muhammad. All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Time is running so quickly again. It's 8:45. And we're taking your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. We're just about halfway through the month of Ramadan, and our Eid celebration is scheduled for Monday, May the 2nd, which is a public holiday. And of course, we'll be having our celebration that will start at around 9 o'clock in the morning on that day, inshallah, at the Kwame Ture Center. Caller, good morning.
Morning again, Brother David. I can make a little mention of the Will Smith issue, and I realize we're on the same frequency. On the same frequency, because the violence started with the insult of the debate. And what you said is so true. So rooted in the agenda of the same people who changed the color of Jesus and stuff like that, these ancient beings that still exist, that want to keep the world destabilized, is the stabilization of the carrier of the DNA. They want to keep our civilization in total turmoil, interfere with the women. And that is what they did. And Brother David, what you're saying is very serious. And we have to get back to that place where not woman per se who doesn't just a knife and who attitude and who's sucking his finger in a triangle and all. I'm talking about this feminine principle as far as creation is concerned. And you made a very good point in terms of we have to stop that in terms of the dinner. And one other thing, black people are considered what to be close to source. We always look at creation in how to put it, boys, as God created all things, but there are many who don't look at it like that, and that is where we get our power. But it is our weakness also, because due to this resonance, as close to God as possible in terms of I created the whole thing. You know, that brings a lot of power, and the progressives envy that. If they understand what I'm saying. So it is imperative that they keep black people, and it's a false narrative too, but it's imperative that they keep up that battle, that psychological battle against black people, because of the potential that we have. And I say also black people out there, don't ever let go of the way how you look at creation. How you look at creation embeds a certain power in us, and that is what they are afraid of. And they're trying to keep us from discovering ourselves. Thank you. I didn't say how does Christian go? Happy Ramadan. Happy Eid.
Well, Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak, brother. This is to the Muslim.
Thank you.
That's very about.
I appreciate that very much. Thanks. Good morning.
I would quickly add, the black woman is a peacemaker.
Yeah.
Even you take it back to the continent, when there's anything between the tribes, the woman would come in and make peace, and that kind of a thing. The black woman is a peacemaker. She doesn't egg her man on to take advantage of people and then gloat in the process with all the Hollywood cobwebs in so many people's heads now. The black woman is a woman of peace, and she's a peacemaker. She wouldn't want her man going and taking advantage of anybody.
I hear you.
For nonsense.
I hear you.
That is so true. We must be defended, but when the time is right. Okay, my dear brothers.
I hear you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And that's it. That there's so much wisdom in that whole play. And I've seen persons, you know, on social media and elsewhere, enjoy the conflict and enjoy saying things and reposting things to try to get humor out of it and make mockery of it. And, you know, in a very... Remember, so mental health is an issue that came up out of the conversation of what happened. And if people could acknowledge that mental health was an issue, then why would they seek to over-promote and sensationalize the whole matter in a way that is more harmful to mental health? You know, and I think it's things like that, subtleties, nuances that we would miss, that we don't appreciate. Like I said, you know, there's something I'm holding back on saying. But, you know, in time, and, you know, a lot of this will unfold. But because of how much investments were made against our unity, because of how important it has been to some others that you and I become enemies. I mean, even observing to me, apart from murder and gang violence, politics in this country is the #1 forum for Africans to hate Africans. Again, looking at the current political landscape, no matter which party it is, it's Africans against Africans. So many of us switch on microphones, do social media, send around messages, set up all these fake profiles, and for us to pull down us. I maintain that my perception of the political landscape in this country is one party empowers Indians, the other party empowers Syrians, but both of them have Africans at each other's throats, stabbing each other in the back, pulling each other down, denigrating one another, trying to scandalize each other's names and drag one another's reputation through the mud. It's us doing it to us. So therefore, kind of consciousness is required that would give us the ability to heal out of those kinds of very toxic arrangements. All right? So, anytime there's conflict between us, it has to be so carefully examined in such a way that more conflict is not produced out of it. So our unity is absolutely essential. So, beloved family, like I said, we're halfway through the holy month of Ramadan, the fasting month. And blessings and best wishes, of course, also to the entire Christian community on this Easter weekend. I'll be lecturing at the Kwame Ture Center tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. And stay tuned to the Street 919 FM. May Almighty God, Allah, continue to bless you as I greet you Ramadan Mubarak and Assalamu Alaikum.